Good morning. This is Henrik. We are Monday, November 6th, 2017. Though this matters little about what I wish to convey to you now, these thoughts and feelings of mine on intelligence of the mind, intelligence of the heart, and the poetry related to our heart that loves to sing and express hymns to its love of life in its resplendent wonders. The intelligence of the head, or our mind, the brain, is not truly real intelligence at all. It is logical knowledgeability, I would say. The intelligence of our heart is the true intelligence, really, the only intelligence there is. The head is simply an accumulator of perceptions, of facts, of events, and an associator of these. But the brain is always old. It is never new. It is never original. It's just like a computer. It's artificial intelligence, really, that the breakaway technocratic civilization wish to engender in the Skynet. They want to cover us in an umbrella to dominate us all. Now the head alone is never original. It's good for certain purposes. For filing information, it's perfectly good, and retrieving it, more or less. And in life one needs this. Many things have to be remembered. The mind, the head, is a biological computer. You can go on accumulating knowledge in it, and whenever you need it, you may take it out. It is good for mathematics, good for calculation, good for the day-to-day life, the marketplace. It gives you certain value. But if you think this is your whole life, then you will remain stupid. No insult intended. But it's a way that you will lead a life dumbed down and ignorant of what is truly essential, what truly matters, and that is what is truly beautiful, and therefore God's music to the universe. If you think, and some say, like the 17th century mathematician René Descartes, I think, therefore I am, I may reply, yes, indeed, I think, therefore I am Descartes. But I also am when I don't think, for then I feel more profoundly my feelings, or it counts to me. So if we just think, we will never know the true beauty of feeling, and we will never truly know the true wonderful blessings of our hearts. We will never know the grace that descends only through the heart, and the godliness, the sense of God, of truly what is blessed and beautiful and divine, that can enter only through our heart. We will never know prayer. We will never know poetry. We will never know love, for those are expressions and symphonies of our hearts. The intelligence of the heart creates poetry in your life, gives a dance to your step, makes your life a joy, a celebration, a festivity, a laughter, from the heart. The intelligence of the heart gives us our sense of humor. It makes us capable of love, of sharing with one another the blessings of love and of our innermost feelings. That is true life. The life that is lived from the head is a mechanical one. You become a robot of sorts, maybe very efficient. Robots are very efficient, and machines are more efficient than man. Just look at what amount of work they can do. They're much stronger than man, mechanically and physically speaking. And you can earn much by using your head, but you will not live much. Neither will I. We may have a better standard of living, the mansions and the cars and the yachts, the jets, can get to that level, the chicks and the toy boys, the great feasts, the wonderful adventures at sea. But you may never have a better standard of living than the standard of loving. Because the standard of living won't have the life of loving if you strictly focus on the material. Life is of the heart. Really, truly. Always follow your heart. That is my advice to the young people today. Life can only grow through your heart. It is the soil, the fertile soil of the heart, where love grows. Life blossoms, and spirit ascends. All that is beautiful, all that is really valuable, all that is meaningful, all that is significant, comes through the heart. The heart is our very center. The head, with its mind, is just our periphery. To live in the head, the mind, is to live on the circumference without ever becoming aware of the beauties and the treasures of the center. To live on the periphery, if I may say so, is stupidity, at least to me. To live in the head, like a shred head, is stupidity indeed. To live in the heart, and use the head whenever it is needed its intelligence. But the center of it all, the heart of it all, the master of it all, is at the very core of our being. It is our human heart. The master indeed is the heart, and the head is just a servant. This is true intelligence. When the head becomes the master and forgets all about the heart, then that is stupidity. And we see great detriment result from it. It is up to us to choose. And remember, the head, as a slave, is a beautiful slave of much utility. But as a master, it is a dangerous master and will destroy our whole life and will poison our entire existence. Look around. People's lives, apparently, this is apparent to me, are absolutely poisoned by the artificial use of man's intelligence. They cannot feel. They are no longer sensitive. Nothing seems to thrill them than a great rush of adrenaline. The sun rises every day, but nothing rises in them of the sun. They look at the sun empty-eyed, as if it were some kind of decoration there, set there for the show. But it does not rise within them. The sky becomes full of the stars at night. Oh, the marvel, oh, such great mystery. But nothing stirs in their hearts, and no song arises. Birds sing such beautiful songs, and yet man has all but forgotten to sing. Clouds come into the sky, and the peacocks dance, but man does not know how to really dance anymore. Man has become a cripple. Trees bloom, and man thinks, but never feels anymore. And without feeling, there's really no flowering possible. There is no true blossoming. Watch, scrutinize, observe, and have another look at your life. Nobody else is going to help you. You have depended on others so long. That's why you have become stupid. Now take care. It is your responsibility. You owe it to yourself to have a deep, penetrating look at what you are doing with your life. Is there any poetry in your heart, my friend? I hope there is. But if it is not there, then don't waste time. Go looking for it. Help your heart to weave and spin poetry. For poetry is the love of living. Is there any romance in your life? There should be. You deserve it, as all good human beings with a good human heart. If there is not romance, then aren't we all already in our graves? So let's come out of it and let life have something of the romantic and the poetic in it. Something like a great adventure to explore. Let's go exploring. Millions of beauties and millions, if not trillions, of splendors are waiting for us, for you, for me, and for all others. We go on moving around and around and around again, never entering, seemingly, into the temple of life and the temple of love, to which the door is our human heart. The real intelligence is of the heart. Remember that. So always follow your heart and not your intellect. Only use your intellect once you have gone in with the heart to convince, with its intellectual arguments, the veracity and validity of your intent. The heart is not intellectual. It is emotional, and it is sentimental. Feeling with the heart is not like thinking with the mind. It is feeling. It is feeling. It is feeling. It is not logic. It is love. Love is available only to those who go on sharpening their intelligence. The intelligence of the heart. Love is not for the mediocre. Love is not for the unintelligent. The unintelligent person may become a great intellectual. In fact, unintelligent people try to become great intellectuals. That is their way of hiding their unintelligence. And I can think of someone in France who always begins his diatribes by us, the intellectuals. And he is responsible for the death of many in Libya, in Egypt, and elsewhere. He's a false man. That we are not here to speak of any particular individual. We are just here to say that love is not for the intellectual, strictly intellectual. Love is for those that feel with their heart and that are genuine and earnest Love, in fact, needs a totally different kind of talent. A talented heart that can be cultivated in love and poetry and romanticism, but not necessarily a talented head. Love has its own intelligence. Love has its own way of seeing. Love has its own way of perceiving. Love has its own way of understanding life. For love is loving life. Love has its own way of comprehending the mystery of existence and finding within it eternal existence. The poet is far closer than it to the philosopher even, and the songwriting poet even more. Well done, Surf Dog. And the mystic dwells inside the temple of our hearts. The poet is on the steps of that temple, and the philosopher is outside admiring the temple and longing to really find out all about the heart in the temple, and the poet that sits on its steps as the romantic lovers dance together. At the most, the philosopher, if purely intellectual, can approach the true meaning of life, which is love. You can approach it, the temple, this temple of our hearts, by the driveway, but never the steps. So the intellectual philosopher goes round and round the not-so-merry-go-round. He goes on moving around the temple of love, the temple of the heart, studying its outer walls of this temple. And he becomes so enchanted, this intellectual philosopher, that he forgets completely that the outer walls of the temple are not the real temple, and that the deity, the divinity of life, of love, dwells inside the temple, as our heart dwells inside our anatomical structures. The poet reaches the door. Oh yes, he is bold. He is inspired by his muses, the many muses of the expressions of life. But the door is so beautiful, so glorious, that he becomes as if hypnotized. He thinks he has arrived. What more can there be? He tells himself in this trance of his. The intellectual philosopher, is lost down the steps, guessing what is inside. He never goes there. He simply thinks, like the thinker of Rodin on the pot, philosophizing. The poet tries to penetrate into the mysteries of this temple of the heart, but he always gets hooked near the door, or sometimes at the door. The mystic, however, the mystic who sees there where others do not see, for the essential is invisible to the eyes and can only be perceived by the heart. Well, the mystic, the believer, solely and utterly in the heart, in the human heart, will enter into the very inner sanctum of the temple of the human heart, there where God has set his throne and truly resides. God is not necessarily in the temples and churches and mosques. God has set up residence in his favorite place, the human heart. So what is our way to be? Well, I would suggest that the way is love. And the way is a loving intelligence and an intelligent love. When love and intelligence meet together, We create the space, a divine space, in which all that is possible to a human being and that is of true value can become actual. A loving intelligence and an intelligent loving is what is needed. Intelligence alone becomes intellectual. Love alone becomes sentimental, or sentimentality, if you prefer. Naturally, but a loving intelligence, intelligent loving, of a loving intelligence, never becomes intellectuality or simply sentimentality. Loving intelligence gives us all a new kind of integrity. Loving intelligence brings us to the crystallization of the divine essence of all that is important, and that is love and the poetry of love. So love one another, and especially love yourselves and your pets and all the animals upon this world of ours. And love your uniqueness, and love all diversity. And the foundation of love is respect. There can be no love without respect. So respect yourselves, respect others, and respect all life. And then, upon that foundation, you can truly love them all. So I say love. Love is the answer. Truth, true love, will set us free. Truth will set us free. Love will set us free. Singing will set us free. And dancing will set us free. Free to love deeply, free to love unconditionally, free to love eternally, free to love for the sake of love. So, this is what I wish for you today and all days to come. Is for love, intelligent love, and poetically inspired love, or love-inspired poetry, to dwell inside your hearts. I love you all. And like the Three Musketeers, I say that 3 peaceteers, for I need no muskets. Let us all say, all for love and love for all. All for love and love for all. Each one of us is very special. Especially you, you're very special. Just let love into your hearts. And all will be well. You'll be so happy. Now and forever. For the rest of your lives. But just let love come in. Accept love. You don't need to pursue love. Just allow love to find you.